Welcome to the Downtown Madison Happenings podcast. I'm your host, Jason Elstrup, president of Downtown Madison Inc. And today's episode, we're excited. Brandi Grayson, the founder and CEO of Urban Triage, with us today. The Downtown Madison Happenings podcast is brought to you by Sustainable HR, PEO, and Colas CPA, a local professional services firm supporting Madison businesses and nonprofits with various back-of-office needs. The firm aims to provide high-quality professional services to be true business partners to small and mid-market employers like DMI. If you're interested in accounting, tax advisory, HR, payroll, and benefits administration, Sustainable HR, PEO, and Colas CPA are local providers who are committed to serving Madison and the downtown community. We're excited to bring our good friend, Brandi Grayson, President, CEO, and founder of Urban Triage to the Downtown Happenings podcast today. Brandi, how's it going today?
It's going great. We have sun outside. It's a little chilly. I can use about 10 more degrees, but it is nice. We have sun, and with sun, life is grand. So today is great.
Agreed. Summer has to be coming,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You and I we've been in the Midwest a long time. We've seen this game though, where winter comes back in and all of a sudden it'll snow in April, and you're like, no, go back
Exactly.
home.
We go from
back
AC to heat within 1 week. So yeah.
So first question, we just want people to understand, it's unbelievable all of the work that Urban Triage does in our community. What's Urban Triage's mission, and what are all the projects that you all are working on in any given day to help out the community?
Yeah, our mission really is to transform cultures, institutions, and systems to create a humane future for all. That is our mission. And because that's a big mission, that means we have to have multiple programs running simultaneously. So we do a lot of work around agriculture, farming, housing advocacy, transformative education. So we run work groups, and we run about 10 different housing programs. We also do after school partnerships with MMSD, supporting youth personal development and leadership for youth and academic support. So our role is really to fill in the gaps in niches and services, and for vulnerable populations, centering Black and Brown folks in our community.
I mean, I love your mantra. It's for the people, by the people, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I love that idea.
People we serve.
And you're filling in the gaps where people aren't getting the needs that they should be receiving, and you're running them in so many different areas. Where do you find that sort of energy to do all this work? And you must have such an energetic team behind you as well, willing to help and to support.
Yeah, I absolutely get on my team's nerves. So let me just honor that. Being a visionary and someone full of energy. I think my therapist call it Vata energy. So I'm always going, doing. And my staff sometimes have to be like, okay, we're doing too much. But I also have to recognize that the people that's on our team, we still are considered like a startup organization, right? We've been around 4 years. We're trying to make it to 5. And then they say you make it to 5, you're good to go. So that's where we're on our way to doing. But there's still some foundation we need to lay, and our team has evolved, and we've had people come and go, but currently we have a really, really solid team. And I'm really excited for the future of Urban Triage, because we're only as good as the leaders that are coming behind us and the folks that are on the front line that's doing the work. And I just have to say, like, our coordinators, our managers, we've hired a couple directors. I'm excited. So yeah, my team is energetic. Sometimes they're like, that's enough. So I have to listen to them at times when they say that.
Brandi, you and I have known each other a long time. I think we do share, for certain, a lot in common, but the energy profile is very similar. So yes, but I appreciate the energy. And discuss, you've talked about those 2 new directors that we talked about before we came onto the podcast. You're building just such an amazing team to be able to do more work to help more people in our ever-growing community. Right now, I like to say Madison it's going from a little big city to a big little city. And there's some pluses with that, but there's some minuses. There's people that are absolutely left out. And you all are doing an amazing job of filling the gaps where the service system is not providing workforce training in agriculture and in housing in particular. We're seeing this housing crunch. your organization pays a significant amount of attention to housing. Where is the housing market in your mind right now? And what do we need to be doing more so that everyone has access to housing in our
Oh,
community?
that's such a big question. I wish I had the perfect answer, because we are moving into be a big city, a big little city. And that means new businesses, new technology companies, which means higher rents. So it's like it's part of growing, the housing market. And I do believe what we can do better is build real affordable housing. So we talk a lot about affordability in Madison, and we put millions into it. And we often roll out programs like, oh, we have this $200 million program, $55 million housing complex, and no one can afford it, right? So I think we just have to be honest about what affordability looks like when our wages aren't going up, when most folks make $25 an hour and they're working third shift at a gas station to pay $1,500 a month, and then they still can't afford everything. We just have to be clear, because when I was young, 20 years ago, maybe 25, don't tell nobody my age.
No, 10.
Right, 10 years ago. Yep. When I was like, I was paying $800, for the same space, and now folks are paying $1,500 for that same apartment, and sometimes $2,000. So I just think we have to be honest, like, are our wages matching the cost of living? And if it's not, then what can we do? What do we have to do as a collective to bring down the rent for folks who can't afford it? Or what do we need to do, lobbying, advocating to bring up the wages and making sure that folks have the resources they need, and also helping people understand that they get to cause and create their reality. And that's the transformative education we provide at Urban Triage, helping people see beyond their circumstances and knowing that they can create out of nowhere. And I know that might sound silly to some people, but when you believe that you can, you will, versus when you are feeling disempowered, you feel hopeless and desperate, then you get what you think. So our job is to teach people that they can create jobs for themselves, they can create businesses for themselves, they can charge people, they can charge people for for their products enough that covers the gaps for them, and enough so they can start their own businesses. We're really all about entrepreneurship, and I know some people are like, don't talk about entrepreneurship too much, because we still need employees. And we have to also understand that people still need to eat and get by. So we want to also provide people with the tools and skills to develop their own businesses.
I think we should all be proud in our community that we're trying to create as many entrepreneurs as possible, right?
Yes.
Even if you
Yeah.
are working a day job as a teacher or a nurse or whatever that profession is. I gave him hospitality. It's awesome that you want to be a housekeeper during the day. And I'm way too old to say this term, but a side hustle, right? To be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Why did I just say that on camera, Brandi?
It's true though, but it's a requirement. You have to have a side hustle. I mean, for nowadays, I think they say a 3-person home, you need to make close to $200,000. That's a lot to survive and get by. That means like people who are with master's degrees can't survive. And 10 years ago, we were telling people, go to college, keep going, and you'll do okay. And that's no longer the truth. So we have to have multiple streams of income to survive. So yeah.
Well, you bring up, housing is a multifaceted issue that means affordability means something different for every single person. But I think we can all say we don't have even anywhere near the deeply affordable housing we need to, so that everyone has the ability to live in a home and connected to areas that they need to. The other part is transportation, right? A subject that you know very well.
Yeah.
I always like to say that the affordable housing coin, one side is housing and the other side is transportation. You need to be able to get to wherever you need to get to, the grocery store, your place of work, your doctor, your church, your place of faith. And we need that robust infrastructure. We're lucky here in the Isthmus, in the downtown area, that there is significant, but that's not the case throughout the rest of the city. Where are you seeing challenges on the transportation side for many of those that you serve?
Ever since we changed the transportation system, and I'm just going to say, I don't know both sides of this coin. All I do know is what our clients are saying and people in the community. Nothing's accessible, especially in vulnerable in communities like the North Side, where the bus used to come right in front of your house or down the street. Now you have to walk 2 blocks, and some people are differently able. Some people are in wheelchairs. Some people are elderly. They can't walk 2 blocks to get to a new bus system. So I would just say transportation is huge for our clients. And then part of our work is helping people find better jobs, get jobs, and then we'll find them a job. And then it takes them 2 hours to connect to that job. And it's like, okay, well, that's not going to work. So there's a lot of challenges with transportation, and we try to provide transportation when we can, whether it's a Lyft or something, but there's not funding for that, So we really need to think about when we think about our mission as a city for all to thrive, we have to think about how we can make sure all are thriving, right? Like, so I'm not sure of the answer to that. I just know that as a leader of an organization that's for the people, by the people, our job is to respond to it and to provide triage and to advocate and to connect people with different resources as much as possible and act as a liaison in these systems. And oftentimes we're the only people at the table that are, I hate to say it, but that's Black. We're the only, there's no Black, brown people. There's often no Asian people. There's just white people in urban triage. So we're often trying to explain to people the impact of the transportation, the affordable housing. I think we understand it on paper, but sometimes it's hard to understand it. No, we understand it conceptually. It's hard to understand it experientially if you haven't existed there, so.
Absolutely. I mean, I think policymakers, civic leaders, leaders
Yeah.
need to understand experiences from every community,
Yeah.
not just the ones that they're closest to, right? I always have biases, sort of in the income bracket that I'm in. Those are the friends that I have. Those are the people that I'm connected with.
Yeah.
There are a whole series of folks that are not in that income bracket that are having different experiences than me. And it behooves me as a leader to try to understand more. And I'm just appreciative for all the work that you do for making sure that more people's experiences are being heard by more leaders. One of the things that you have that people I think don't always realize, you have a significant presence in downtown Madison with the building right on Butler. What programs are you working in downtown? Why is downtown important to urban triage?
Downtown is important because it gives us access to a lot of our homeless population, right? So we have a lot of homeless populations in the downtown area. We're close to Salvation Army. We're close to the Beacon Day Shelter, working with them in partnership. And it just makes us more accessible for the folks that can't make it to our South location, which is on Park Street. And our South location was very accessible with the transfer point there. So no matter where you were coming from, you could get to the South transfer point, jump off the bus and connect with us. I'm not sure what that looks like in the future. I'm scared to look at the new system, but our downtown area gives us access to our homeless population. And it also allows us to just be present around the businesses, because a lot of times, folks, you say nonprofit, we do direct service. I don't know if people don't understand nonprofit, like the business model of nonprofit and all the little details that go into running an organization effectively. So being in the downtown area helps. I hate to say this too, but it helps legitimize us and say, look, this is an organization that has been built from the ground up, from my kitchen table, actually. And now we employ 22 employees providing multiple programming and really really being the voice of those who are often voiceless, and also making people mad and at the same time making people happy. So we do it both, right? Like, who are they? Why are they here? And also, yes, go ahead, urban triage. So we'll continue to fill both of those niches, and I think having us in downtown helps just bring visibility to the organization and to the work, and gives access to the folks that are most vulnerable, which is our homeless population.
Can I use that term, making people mad and happy both at the same time?
Yes,
I like that.
Yes.
Well, you bring up a really good point, though, because I think there's this, in Madison in particular, there is a thought about nonprofits, right?
Yep.
And let's be very clear. You and I are both nonprofit leaders. We run businesses, right?
Yep.
We have employees that have 401ks, that have benefits, that we pay rent. We've got to do all these things. We're adding a significant amount to the Madison economy, not including the services. We're not a direct service organization. You are, but we're adding a significant amount. So thank you for saying that, because nonprofits are very important to the vitality and the economic strength of our community. Yes. Speaking of which, you're going to make it to year 5, no problem. Yeah, no problem at all. But we want to know how our members can help. And I think there is an opportunity coming up on May 17th, the Black Brilliance Gala. We should all be attending 6 p.m. By the way, thank you for hosting it right at the Overture Center in downtown. So besides please discuss the Black Brilliance Gala and how important it is. And what are the other ways that DMI members and members of the downtown community can help support our friends at Urban Triage?
Yeah, so starting with the Black Brilliance Gala, it's our first fundraiser. We haven't we haven't had a fundraiser, right? So for folks who don't know, we're a heavily grant funded organization, and this is our first kind of like let's raise some money, let's raise some money for our organization because we're coming out of a season where we had a huge grant with the core program through the federal funds, and that's all gone. The program's all done. And now we're like, oh my goodness, we have all these gaps in our budget, which is usually operations, director of development, accounting. Our audit costs us $40,000 a year. You wouldn't even believe the accounting fees of being a nonprofit. So we're looking to raise funds to fill in some of those gaps, unrestricted funds, and funds to support our new workforce development program in partnership with Prodigal Systems and Academy. Prodigal Systems and Academy is a construction company. So they're going to provide the on-hands training of carpentry, and then Urban Triage is going to provide our transformative education. So funds raised at our gala will go to that and our unrestricted, operation stuff. And it's at the Overture Center. It's going to be beautiful. We've hired this event planner, Steve. I'm so excited. It's going to be elegant. It's a black tie affair. We're going to have our networking hour 6 to 7 is going to be a band that plays jazz and R&B music, live singing. We're going to do auctions. We're going to have poetry. We have, of course, Jeffrey, the MC of all nonprofits. And so he's going to
Jeffrey Sandler. We love him.
Yeah, I absolutely love him. So he's going to be MCing for us. And we just have tons of entertainment, and it's going to be great, right? So no dry chicken. That was the number one thing I said, because every gala I go to has chicken, and I know it's the cheapest thing, whether we're at the Concourse or Monona Terrace, but we're going to do prime rib. So
well, you just sold my wife. My wife is like the biggest fan of prime rib. Well, I will say you and I have a lot in common. Nonprofit leader. Now we both don't have chicken at our events.
Yes, no chicken. So tired.
Go to DMI or Urban Triage events. You'll get no chicken.
Yeah, and we chose the Overture Center because we wanted to do a gala outside of the norm. A lot of galas are held at Monona Terrace and the Concourse. So we just wanted to change it up a little bit as our first. We wanted to be fancy, elegant, brilliant. We're celebrating at a gala unsung heroes in our community. So our community voted for people who are doing the work in our community who go unrecognized. So we have tons of people we'll be honoring. But I also want to say we will not spend hours honoring, because you go to a award show and you're like, oh my God. And you want to support the people, but it's like this keeps going on and on and on. So we've worked with Jeffrey to make sure it's entertaining and it's quick, and we're in and we're out doing the programming so you guys don't fall asleep, because we've all been in those galas. So you're gonna have a lot of fun. I promise you. You're gonna leave like, I'm coming back next year. We're gonna have plenty of food. We're gonna have pizza at the end of the night. So we're gonna have dinner and then pizza delivered by Ian's Pizza for the dance, because you gotta have the dance, you gotta have the DJ, and we're gonna be drinking. So you need the Ian's Pizza, of course, downtown, honoring all of our legacy, especially people like me who went to UW. So
look, we all need to be at this event. I will be there. DMI members, look, you just heard. This helps our own community, right? We're about the built environment. We're getting more people into the construction trades.
Yep.
How many cranes are up there right now? Let's make sure everyone in our community is taking part in this boon, right? That we all should be taking part in.
Absolutely. And join, if you're interested in purchasing a ticket, go to our website, urbantriage.org. The box will pop up right there for you. Click it and it'll take you to the site to purchase a ticket. And other ways you can support Urban Triage is through volunteering. We have a 111 club, which is you donate $111 a month. And the reason I chose 111 is that's my number of inspiration. If you study numerology, it's like my angelic number. Manifesting, creating, providing for the people that need it the most is really the foundation of what we do, whether it's resources, academic skills, soft skills, hard skills, personal development. I really do believe in the holistic approach of healing our community and supporting our people. So look us up on Facebook, look us up on our website. We're a nonprofit, so the thing we need the most is money. Okay.
Well, I'll put an exclamation point on that. The thing you need most is unrestricted money.
Unrestricted money.
Unrestricted money.
As a nonprofit that's heavily grant funded, our money is so restricted. If I want to go buy a piece of paper, I have to go look and be like, I can't afford that. I'm gonna have to go do a post on Facebook, So that's part of the challenge of being heavily grant funded. And it's also a challenge in terms of sustainability. So
Well, let's see everyone at the Black Brilliance Gala. Then on May 17th, we'll have a link posted with our podcast as well. Very easy, urbantriage.com or .org. I forgot.
.org.
.org.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just Google Urban Triage. You'll
Yeah.
find it right away.
Yeah.
Brandi, thank you so much for all you do, but we're going to put you on the hot seat for a second. Is that all right?
Okay. Yep. Yep.
All right. We do a Fast and Furious 5 where we ask
Okay.
5 questions about downtown,
Oh,
and
oh,
you just
Lord.
give whatever answer comes to your mind. Very easy questions. Easy questions.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Favorite downtown restaurant?
Daddies and dumplings.
Oh, what do you get there?
Burgers, of course, and shakes. And they've
I
been
know
down there
Ryan and his
forever.
what? They're the best. Ryan's
They
are right.
are the
Yeah,
best.
yeah, they are the best. Oh, now I kind of want to go to Dottie's. I already had lunch. But favorite downtown festival?
Oh my God. I don't know one.
That's fine. We'll take a pass. You do know the answer to this one. What's your favorite? Unless you're lactose intolerant, then I apologize. But what's your favorite ice cream flavor from Babcock Hall?
It is the pecan.
Oh, that one is good with the caramel in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's super good.
that's good. Okay, I shouldn't ask this question, but what's your sort of go-to secret spot downtown where you can find your zen?
Oh, Natspill. I absolutely love Natspill.
Well, you just your location is quite good because you literally barely have to cross the street. It's like 200 feet away.
Exactly.
Yes, yes. And then you have visitors coming to town, say families coming to town.
Mhm.
You got a perfect day in the summer downtown. What do you do with them?
We're probably going to Lucille's to sit outside. We're probably going to go to the cigar bar. Why? Because people like the cigar bar. We'll probably stop at Merchants. We'll definitely scroll State Street, and probably end up at Vino because they're the only place that stay open until 12 down, on weekdays and stuff. So, and they have a beautiful view of the Capitol. So that's how our day would go.
Well, you didn't say this, but I'm going to insert this. We do need a better late night scene in downtown.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Yes.
We definitely
Not
do.
necessarily for me because I got a 1.5-year-old, so I'm up at like 5 a.m. But for everybody else,
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yes.
Ever since COVID happened, it's been strange. It's just been a little strange.
It is. Well, Brandi Grayson, founder and CEO of Urban Triage, thank you very much for joining us. Please, as our members, do everything we can to support, go to the gala, support a wonderful organization that's doing so much for so many people in downtown and our entire community. Brandi, thank you for your time today, and thank you for all you do for Madison.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining our Downtown Happenings podcast. We'll see you downtown sometime soon. Thank you for all the support and have a great day.